Well, hello, hello, hello. This is HQ. A lot of you MAGA supporters are starting to ask the question that you never thought you were going to ask. Are you being played? The answer is yes. Well, something is weird going on in the GOP. It's really going on because I don't see the Republican Party doing anything for the regular, ordinary man. I just don't see it. Every time I turn around, people keep throwing in our face gas prices, the tax and tips, and the tax on overtime. That's not a big deal. You need something substantial. Okay, so for years and years, a lot of y'all believe this administration was fighting for the things that you care about: the border, American jobs, putting the country first. But now some of these your supporters, some of your guys, some of your buddies, some of your most loyal supporters are starting to ask those serious questions that I've been putting to y'all for a long time. I've been putting it up to you guys. What happened? Why is it that it seems as though your needs are nowhere in the forefront and everything else is going the way the establishment wants it to go? Is this movement taken over, not by Democrats, not by the MAGA movement, taken over by who is it being taken over by? It's not by liberals, it's not by Democrats. It seems to me as though the regular old Republican establishment done got a hold of you MAGAs and they either was pretending to be MAGAs until they can get into office, because there don't seem to be nobody that was even close to being a MAGA except Marjorie Taylor Greene. So what happened to the rest of the people? Y'all was supposed to be a movement. You're supposed to be doing stuff for the people. So I went and I found Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, he kind of explained it. So this is the clip. This is one of the clear examples of the fact that Donald Trump is not on the side of the regular, ordinary American people, and he never has, right? So I came across this clip yesterday, and it struck me as to how close and how true his comments were. Okay, this is Nick Fuentes. A lot of y'all probably know him, and regardless of what you think about him, he makes some pretty compelling arguments against this president. Pretty compelling arguments against this president. The claim is that the MAGA movement, the movement that rallied around Donald Trump, may have been taken over by the establishment, because you don't see anything coming out of that White House that y'all said that y'all wanted. Everything from the opposite of what you said you wanted. It's not being taken over by liberals or Democrats or the radical left. Okay, but the same Republican establishment MAGA was originally supposed to fight against done took over y'all movement. Okay, this is what he's saying. So I'm going to watch a couple clips from him, and he's going to break it down for you, whether you disagree or you don't agree. This raises a lot of questions about why the hell this administration keep doing stuff that y'all never said y'all wanted. I don't give a shit what you said. Y'all never said y'all wanted half this shit that's going on. And a lot of them said they didn't want this shit. So let me play the clip. Hold on.
Trump is our guy. The Jewish thing is third worldism. He's one of these. And he goes on Tim Pool the other night. And I have seriously questioned in the past few weeks whether people like this are even agentic, if they even have sentience or consciousness. I look at people that are still defending Trump and I think you are either totally insane, like no connection to reality. You just have, I don't know, a different like subjective experience in reality. Something's wrong there. Or you're a completely paid operative. You have no real convictions. You will say anything for money. Or you are like a true goy, not ensouled. You don't have a soul, like you're a beast. You just look like a human being, but you're not actually one. Don't possess rationality. I've actually struggled which one they are. And I think maybe they're in all different categories. Some of them are clearly just like paid by influenceable to shill the GOP no matter what. Some of them are totally deranged and insane. Some of them are just true goyim, like they're actually grazing out in a field, eating grass, and waiting to be harvested by the for, I don't know, their brain cells, their flesh. I'm not really certain. Well, this is a big breakthrough. Because finally, we've made a discovery about the Trump sycophants. And it seems that maybe they're starting to think, the wheels are starting to turn. And so, like I said, I saw this clip and Oron McIntyre was on Tim Pool and he's talking to the host and says, I think that the Trump movement has betrayed its principles. He says, all of a sudden, Trump is surrounded by neocons. He said he's suddenly surrounded by never-Trumpers like Ben Shapiro and all those other principled conservatives that wrote the Never Trump Manifesto in 2016. He said all of a sudden, it seems that the GOP establishment and the neocons have subverted and infiltrated the MAGA movement. He says, and if we're not careful, then they will skin suit the MAGA movement. In other words, by aggressively mimicking the Trump movement, they will kill everything organic and replace it and turn it into something like a Trojan horse or a Pied Piper. He goes, so we have to be very concerned that this might happen as it did in the past to the Tea Party and other grassroots right-wing movements. And I see this clip and I'm like, wow. So maybe they really are capable of rationality. Maybe they are capable of thinking. My only question is, where have you been? What do you mean if they do that, they did that? It happened in the past. We have been watching it happen for years and talking about it, and I have been calling it out. He goes, if the GOP establishment and the neocons skin suit MAGA, if they did, it already happened in the past tense. It's a done deal. Okay, that did happen. He goes, suddenly, the MAGA movement is all neocons. Suddenly. What do you mean suddenly? All of a sudden, he says, all of a sudden. We watched Jared Kushner. I spit on my sleeve there. We watched Jared Kushner and Ben Shapiro literally hold Trump's hand and walk him to the grave of the Lubavitcher Rebbe at the headquarters of Chabad Lubavitch in Brooklyn, New York in 2024. What do you mean suddenly? All of a sudden, where have you been? We watched that in 2024.
That's the whole argument right there. Trump has betrayed the principles. The MAGA movement started as some kind of rebellion against the Republican establishment. America first, drain the swamp, push back against the insiders in Washington. But critics now are saying something very different. He's saying something very different. He's saying, you've been taken over. It ain't no MAGA movement. It's the establishment Republicans now, whether you agree with it or not. It's a story that we done seen in politics forever and a day. Movements start out rebellions against the system. We ain't gonna do the establishment thing. We're gonna do something different. But once they reach power, once people reach power, once they get a hold of that movement, the establishment Republicans, it becomes part of the system. And this is what he's saying. It's a part of the system now. Okay? It's a part of the system. So he said, where have you been? Where have you been? What he's saying is, don't get mad now. You all let it happen. It happens in politics all the time. When your side is winning, people start overlooking the bad shit, forgiving the bad shit. Let shit happen. Y'all know goddamn well the first thing y'all said out your mouth was we wasn't going, no new war. That was the first thing people kept saying to me. Obama and Biden, them wars was under Obama and Biden. All y'all had them wars. Our president, Donald Trump, said we ain't gonna have no new wars. No new war. And all of a sudden, every motherfucking MAGA person on here talking 2-point crazy. Oh yeah, but yeah, we going to war. Yeah, we need all them Democrats want to have a person named, they want to have a dictator. They love dictators trying to gaslight us. No, you got played, MAGA. You got played. They were always going to do. Donald Trump was always going to do this shit. Okay? Always was going to do this shit. He was always going to take over the party. Okay? Always. And he's trying to tell you it's been took over. As soon as you got people in the established, he going to tell you right here. He going to tell you. He going to tell you, hold up. It's already been took over. Because they knew what they were doing when they did it.
But what we have seen in the past year is that all of those lower, middle, and sparingly senior level bureaucrats, in a word, they have been outflanked. Many of them fired, many of them demoted or sidelined or effectively neutralized, and they have been outflanked. And they have been outflanked because they were outranked by the people that actually matter, which are the oligarchs, the billionaires, and the permanent bureaucrats, the people that exist between public and private sector, the people that have been in Washington, D.C. forever, the people that actually make the rules. And ultimately, at the top, they got outflanked by Trump.
See, now this is where the conversation is bigger than MAGA. His claim being made here is that the wealthy donors, powerful insiders, long-term government officials have enormous influence over politics. They just do. The regular, ordinary citizen does not have any power over anything. They have no power over anything. They just look for you all's backing so they can do their fuckery. Okay? People on the left and the right, same way with both parties. That's why the Democrats get mad at the establishment. Because we understand if you get co-opted by the establishment, all that wringing the hands and being mad and upset, that means nothing to those people. Okay? That means nothing. Once you elect them into the House or the Senate, it's over. They're going to do what they want to do. Okay? All of those powerful people that are in those positions are going to be the ones who dictate the policy. People keep saying America first, America first. Ain't no fucking America first. They don't care about fucking America first. They don't care about none of that. They care about power. Okay? They care about the fact that you all are going to stand behind them like you approve of all of this garbage. Okay? They're not trying to fight no system. They're not trying to do none of the things that you want to do. I have always asked every person in the chat, what have they done for the middle class? The Republicans are in charge. They got the House, the Senate, they got the presidency. What are they doing for the middle class? They have no intention of doing anything for the middle class. They have what they want. They're in power. They're able to hoard the money from our government. They're pillaging and graping our coffers, money, resources. They're busy doing that. They're not worried about what the American people want or the people who are behind them want. They don't care about that. They just want the power that comes along with it. He's saying, don't get confused. He figured it out. He got mad, but he figured it out.
Rhinos. The same thing was going on. The real conservatives said, we need actual conservatism. We actually need to control spending and take the country back and so on. And it was an uprising against the party establishment, the Eric Cantors and the John Boehners of the GOP. And very quickly, the Republican Party caught on, and they realized that if they wanted to get the people back on their side, they basically had to pretend to be the Tea Party. And they would run as the Tea Party, pretend to be the Tea Party, pretend to be one of them against the establishment, the rhinos, but all the while serving the establishment anyway. It just became a strategy. That's the skin suit.
Right.
That's the invasion of the body snatchers component.
Right.
And one of the most famous examples of this was actually Marco Rubio. How did Marco Rubio get in the U.S. Senate in Florida?
See, the comparison to the Tea Party is actually one of his strongest arguments. Back in 2000, if you remember, in 2009, 2010, the Tea Party was this grassroots revolt. Well, I think it was a grassroots revolt against Barack Obama, but because you had a black person in power and y'all white folks didn't want no black person in power, and you just flipped over your mind, just went nuts. And you decided you was going to figure out how to make a Tea Party, or figure out how to make a movement against Barack Obama. So you decided you were going to make the Tea Party. But then that's just what I think. But he's saying it was a grassroots revolt against the Republican establishment. They were furious, according to them, they were furious about government spending, bailouts, political establishment in Washington. And for a while, it had a lot of political momentum. But over time, many of those candidates went into the party and then started being the establishment. And critics say it's now happening with MAGA. Not necessarily a conspiracy, but the pattern shows itself in politics. And I know that what he's saying is the truth, because most of y'all say, well, we voted for this immigration. Y'all didn't vote for people getting dragged and killed in the streets. Oh, well, we voted for this war. No, y'all didn't vote for no war. Y'all didn't vote for many of the things that this president has done. But yet and still, you had to go along with it. You had to support it because the powers that be in Washington decided they were going to do what they wanted to do. And hey, drug y'all right along with it. So we know for sure most of y'all didn't want all of this.
Well, he ran against Charlie Crist in the Republican primary back in 2012. And Marco Rubio pretended to be a Tea Party guy. And he casted Charlie Crist as a rhino, as a member of the establishment, and defeated him. Marco Rubio got in the Senate and then immediately joined the Gang of Eight and started backing amnesty and every other betrayal from the GOP establishment.
Right.
This is what they do. This is what they've always done. That's who they are. So you literally have Marco Rubio skin-suited the Tea Party, put down the Tea Party rebellion by aggressively mimicking it, getting empowered, and then joining up with the establishment. What do you think he did in the MAGA movement? The exact same thing.
See, the Rubio example is meant to show you how movements sometimes get absorbed into a system that they were supposed to be fighting. Marco Rubio was supposed to be fighting the establishment. Marco Rubio originally ran as a Tea Party outsider, an outsider, not a MAGA insider, not a Tea Party insider, but an outsider. But once he went to Washington, he turned into that dick that he is. He turned into that asshole that he is. He turned into that established guy that he is. Y'all remember when Donald Trump said little Marco Rubio, he was calling them names and everything. And then all of a sudden, you Donald Trump friend, he was calling Marco Rubio all them names, but Marco Rubio wanted to get along, wanted to be into the establishment. So he started taking them licks that Donald Trump was giving him. Oh, you little Marco, you're no good. You ain't no good. Blah, 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 the whole nine. All of a sudden, Marco ended up his Secretary of State. Okay. So there really is no bigger argument to be made about this. Marco Rubio is the one. He's the one that showed you go to Washington and you become one of them. You don't go to Washington and help the MAGA movement. They don't give a fuck about the MAGA movement. They give a fuck about power. Okay? The closer you get to Washington, this is what they do. They don't care one way or the other.
In 2016, he was an anti-Trump guy, and he was a hardcore neocon. His slogan in 16 was literally New American Century, right. Which if you know ball, you know what that's a reference to.
Right.
In 2016, his campaign slogan was, we need a new American century. Then he became a nationalist. Then he started speaking at NatCon, which will be in Jerusalem this year. Not making that up.
Right.
NatCon, founded by Yoram Hazony, who lives in Israel. Not making that up. Rubio became a national conservative, populist nationalist. Now he's the Secretary of State. And if you look on Polymarket, increasingly likely to be the Republican nominee in 2028. That's what they do. He infiltrated and subverted the Tea Party. Now he's infiltrating and subverting MAGA. He's our Secretary of State. He did it. And you got only now, way late in the game, the biggest Trump supporters are just starting to realize, they go, I think we're starting to be subverted. I think the neocons are suddenly controlling MAGA.
You're starting to be played. You've been played. They just outplayed the MAGA movement. That's all. Okay? You just got played. Pulled you in, got your money, got your bitching about the world and bitching about Democrats, and Democrats ain't shit. You need to look at your own party. He's saying you need to look at your own party. Your own party just threw y'all to the curb, threw the MAGA movement to the curb. It's all y'all against the Republican establishment. I'm going to ask y'all one more time. Somebody please put in the chat what the Republicans have done for you regular, ordinary folk. Okay? Don't give me the bullshit about no tax on overtime. Don't give me the bullshit. Give me what they really done did for the Republican Party. They done did for the ordinary man. Okay? So when you step back and look at this whole conversation, it's really not about one personality or about Nick or anything else. What you're seeing is debate. You're having a debate between, that's why do y'all think it's been people keep saying there's a fight in the Republican movement? It's a fight in the Republican movement because regular establishment Republicans don't want to piss off you goofy MAGA people. So therefore they keep lying to you about what they're going to do, about what they mean, what they stand for, when they don't really stand for anything to do with the MAGA. You just happen to be on the right side. Okay? That's why you see all these stories and all these clips about there's a fight in the Republican Party. It's because those establishment Republicans are trying to hide the fact that they ain't doing jack shit for you. They not planning to do jack shit for you. They have their own agenda, and their agenda don't include you. They just don't want to alienate you. Why do you think they continue to do what they do and they don't do nothing for you? It's always related to tax and tips, never related to anything. No, they don't want to give you health care. They don't want to give you food stamp. They don't want to give you not go to war. They don't want to give you free college. They don't want to give your kids no free school lunch. They don't want to do nothing for the regular American people, regular ordinary American people, because that's not their agenda. They just want to keep you on the line. So they say, oh yeah, they the poor white folk, poor black folk, poor immigrants, poor immigrants. We gonna tell them we better than the Democrats, but we ain't gonna give them nothing. All of the progress that has been made in the last 40, 50 years has been made by the Democrats. Public aid, Medicaid, Social Security, all that shit has been done by the Democrats. What has the Republicans done? They started wars. They crashed the economy. And they did tax cuts. Every last one of them in the last 30 years. That is what they have done. So it is what it is. So all of those people who go to Washington, MAGA people go to Washington, you try to appeal to them, they don't care one way or the other. That's why people keep saying, what is Trump doing? What is he doing? He's not doing what we want him to do. The only thing he did was the immigration thing. That was a part of his agenda, not a part of yours. He don't care about your agenda. But when you wake up out of that bubble, you'll see these Democrats, the Republicans, they don't have your good intentions in mind. Okay, they don't never have your good intentions in mind. Republicans take care of the rich people. If you're not rich, that is not your party. It's your party. You want to be over there in that party. But I still have not gotten one thing in the chat that the Republicans have done besides some tax cut tips, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. That's all we heard yesterday. From when Trump went and did that rally, that's all we heard was people saying, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. That means nothing when the gas price went up 70 cents. Trump has been wrong on everything. You're just dumb. Either way it go, nobody's listening to you anymore. Okay? You have more radical nationalist groups pushing for more than what they want to do. They don't want to do nothing that you want them to do. Anything you want them to do, they're not going to do. They have their own agenda. They started a war. The gas prices going up, food prices going up, everything is going up. Don't fucking tell me y'all voted for that. Don't fucking tell me y'all voted for that. Okay? And then all of a sudden, you can't have somebody said something about the Second Amendment. You ain't Alex Petty. You know he shouldn't have had no gun. You know he shouldn't have had no gun. Y'all need to start thinking about what has been happening in the last 6 months that this administration has done. Okay? You need to be looking at what this administration, this is what Nick Fuentes is saying. He's saying there is no MAGA people in Washington and they ain't trying to do nothing these MAGA people say. They just needed y'all money and they needed y'all vote. Okay? They just needed your money and they needed your vote. That's all. Now that they got your money and your vote, they don't give a shit about any kind of agenda y'all got. Because you can't say in any way, shape, or form that they have done anything to make your life better. These deportations, who gives a fuck about these deportations and your gas and your food and all your shit finna go up? Don't nobody give a damn about no deportation. Make my gas go down. Make my food go down. So I want you to put in the chat. What has he done for you poor people? Because I ain't seen it. Because I know they don't have any intention of doing anything for you. Not substantially. They don't want to give you no health care, free lunches, free college, minimum wage. They don't want to do none of those things for you. Make your life better. Right now, if they put a freeze on mortgages and rents, if they put a freeze on a cap on mortgages and rents, that would help everybody out. If you had a 2-bedroom, they say you don't have to pay no more than $1,100 for a 2-bedroom. That would help everybody out. Tell me I'm lying, but they ain't going to do that. Free health care. Everybody get free health care. We're going to make it so that everybody can get a public or not a public option or single payer or whatever. We can get some relief from your check where you ain't got to come out of your pocket with $200-$300 a month for medical. You only got to come out of your pocket with $20-$30 a month, and that's it. And you get free medical. They won't do that because they have not tried to improve your life at all. The only thing that the Republicans have done, and this is the neocons in Congress, the only thing they have done is pass the bill, started a war, crashed the economy. They did those three things. That's what Republicans do. Crash the economy, cut taxes for the rich, start wars, crash the economy. So I need you all to put your like, share, subscribe on the channel, please, and thank you. Put a like, hit the like button, subscribe button. We have content like this every day. I will be back. Another subject. Who knows what the subject is? But I saw this clip and I had to say something about it because this is weird. Once you think about it, I just want everybody to think about that one question. What has the Republican Party done that touched your life? Don't give me the bullshit about immigration. Don't nobody give a fuck about immigration because it don't change your life one way or the other. I'm talking about something else. Put it in the chat because I would love to know. You need to do more research. You're lying. You see the goofy shit we got to deal with here? What do you mean I'm lying? You do the research, Goofy. You do the research. I just told you, the Republicans do three things: crash the economy, start wars, and do tax cuts for the rich. Every last one of them in the last 30 years, that's exactly what they did 3 times. Every one of them have done that. So where am I lying at? Nowhere. Because you goofy. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button, please, and thank you. I will be back. I will be back.